Hey everyone, it's Michael here at Home Health Success Academy, and you are watching our home health fraud video series where we share with you guys information on how a lot of home health agencies have committed fraud out there and how to be able to help you guys prevent this from happening to your company. Now in this video, we're going to talk about how your nurses can actually cause your company to commit fraud without you even knowing. Okay, so how does that happen? How can your nurses, help you guys commit fraud? Well, in a previous video, we talked about some nurses that are actually not doing the full visit, meaning they see a patient, they only stay there for 15 minutes when they should stay there for an hour. Then there's also nurses that will make a patient pre-sign their visiting reports and actually say that, hey, I visited the patient 10 times, but they only actually visited twice. But in this video, we're going to talk about false documentation. Okay, so a lot of nurses out there, they rely on their patient load to be able to do what? They rely on their patient load to make sure that they have a full-time status. So let's say, for example, a nurse being able to see 32 patients a week or 32 visits counts for them being able to have a full-time status. Now, if they have any discharge, for example, so like let's say, for example, every 60 days we discharge a patient if they don't qualify for recertification, for example, right? So what ends up happening is some nurses don't like that because then their caseload diminishes, right? And sometimes the agencies don't have enough patients or new patients coming in because their marketing is not as good that they cannot replace these patients for these nurses. So they have what they call the yo-yo effect, where some nurses will go 32, 32, 32 all throughout, and all of a sudden have a drought of 1 month where they only have half the amount of patients and they're only being paid what? Per visit. Okay, so now that's a different video on how to be able to pay for nurses that we have, but so pretty much they'll end up having a drought. And so some nurses have been known to then false document the patient, meaning saying that the patient had some necessities to be able to be readmitted so that they can keep them in their mix, to keep them in their schedule. So they'll kind of false document or change a few things just to show that a patient actually needs to be recertified. Okay, so you have to understand that this is something that's important for you as an organization, that there has to be some checks and balances for you. So how to be able to avoid this is for your recertification, your ROCs or your supervisory visits, just because the current patient being seen by an RN. So if that patient is being seen by an RN, that does not mean that you don't send somebody who is pretty much going to give you a secondary opinion. This is somebody from your office, a supervisor that can say, hey, you know what, this nurse is saying from the last visit that this patient might need to be readmitted. That supervisory person should come in and really see the patient and go through everything that's going on and see, hey, is what this nurse documenting about this patient, is this really the patient that I see now that I'm doing a supervisory visit? So a lot of your nurses should be trained so that they know what qualifies a patient, to be admitted into home health services, or what a patient needs to have to qualify to be recertified. So this allows you guys to make sure that you have checks and balances to prevent potential fraudulent activities that you don't even know that's going on. Sometimes there's agencies where they just think that the patient, they just need to be readmitted, not knowing that the patient has shown improvement and that they should actually be discharged. So creating checks and balances prevents you guys from committing fraud that you never even expected was going to happen. So I hope this video is very much helpful for you guys. Always understand that home health marketing is easy when you know what you're doing. This is Michael from Home Health Success Academy or 10xpatientsreferrals.com.